welcome back to another vlog. I guess I just enjoy starting vlogs after my kids are in bed. Well, they're mostly in bed. My older kids are still getting ready for bed. But I guess it's just the easiest time of the day. I don't know, but pretty soon it's gonna be too dark at this time of day. You know, it's like 7 o'clock for me to do this, but you know, sitting down to work on the baby book. I finished one book. Now I gotta start the second one because it takes 2 books to get all the pictures in. And I don't know if you have this struggle, but I do. Whenever I'm doing photo books like Shutterfly books or any of my kids' baby books, I have a really hard time picking pictures to put in because I want to do all the pictures. I love all the faces, you know, even if it's like the same picture but slightly different faces. I'm like, I want that face and this face is cute and this face is cute. You know, and I want all the things and obviously can't put all of them in. So in their books, I'll flip it around in a minute and show you, but I do kind of collage pages where I'll have like pictures with the siblings or just pictures of them, and I'll just put them all together. You know, it's not like a certain theme, like here's a vacation we went on or Christmas or something, you know, it's not anything like that, just kind of this big collage of all these pictures of them. And that's where I have the hardest time. And I'm like, oh, I only have so many pages in these books. I can't take all the pictures. So it's really hard for me to like pick, and I'm like trying to put them all in the page, like figure out a way to make them work. It's like a big puzzle, a Jenga puzzle or something like that to figure out how they can all fit. So anyway, that's what I get to do tonight. And then something else that was so funny, let me know if this is also a problem if you have lots of kids. Like this is 6 kid problems. And I was going through her pictures and I was like, I feel like I'm missing some pictures. I'm like, where did they all go? And it's because I didn't print them out. I was like, there's no Christmas pictures in here. And just so you know, I have a separate photo book going on my computer to like upload to Shutterfly. So I separate the pictures and put some over to print for her baby book, because I like to actually like print them out for the baby book. And then for like our family yearbook sort of thing, I'll do them on Shutterfly. And so I just sort them all into there, and there were several, mostly for holidays and trips, that did not end up in her baby book. And the biggest reason why is because she's hardly in any of the pictures. You know, like Christmas, she was like 4 months old, and since she has all these other siblings, everything's revolved around them, and there's like a few pictures of her and her bouncer. And then I don't think there's any pictures, maybe Easter, I think just in her dress to go to church. I don't think there's any other pictures, and she didn't have an Easter basket because I was like, she's not very old, so I'm not gonna get her all this stuff. And then even some of the trips we went on, most of the pictures are my older kids. And so I just did not sort them into her baby book because she's hardly in any of them. And so I'm like, okay, we'll print out, like I went through and sorted and tried to find as many as I could of her so we could have like, here's Christmas, here's one of the trips we went on. Because I'm like, there's like nothing in her book for all these things. You know, there's lots of pictures that are collage type things, but nothing for like holidays, or she doesn't even have a Halloween. She didn't have a Halloween costume. She was only what, like 3 months old at Halloween. And so she was in the stroller the whole time because I had other kids and I was handing out candy because it's like a parade thing on our street right here. And so I just was handing out candy, and it was easiest just to have her in the stroller next to me. So I'm like, I'm sorry. There's no pictures with you. We're trying our best over here. Your book is still like 2 books because there's still so many pictures. So anyway, I'll show you that in a minute, but I'm gonna work on that. But I wanted to also show you these just came in the mail today. My year of writing, I want to say handwriting it. And my video, what was it? The morning cart or morning like basket video would have come out, I believe, right before this, or like 2 videos before this. I'm not exactly sure when. And I talked about in that one my year of nature and how I'd gotten those books and was excited about it. But I saw they had other ones, and I also ordered my year of art. I don't know if we'll do those ones this year. I might save those, but it was like on my mind, and our charter school pay for these books as well. So that's why I was ordering them. But this one I thought was good because writing is so hard. Like, it's hard for young kids, it's hard for bigger kids. You know, it's taking so many different concepts and then having to like put them down in paper. And so this just has something you could do every day, like write an invitation to a party you would like to have. You know, there was stuff about creating a character, and they're just short. Like, it's just a very simple thing. So I was like, oh, maybe we'll implement that this year and practice a little bit more on like our brainstorming with writing for homeschool. So there you go. I'll have to keep you updated in the like quarterly videos about this. Maybe we'll talk about it too in some vlogs once we are doing homeschool more, but those just came today. So I was excited about that. And then I don't know if I had anything. Oh, I was gonna tell you I decorated for fall today. I'm so excited. And so the homeschool tour video, homeschool room tour video, whatever you call that, either came out right before this or it's coming out right after this. And like, I have little fall decorations. It's just like a splatter in the homeschool room, like some right behind me here. Most of it's out in our main room. I don't decorate crazy. I just like having little spots that kind of highlight the seasons we're gonna be in. So I'll have to, yeah, I'll show you. Well, I'm sure I inserted pictures over this so you could see all the decorations. I was very, very excited about it. It's not quite September yet. I usually wait till September 1st, but I was like, we're decorating for fall. So that was great. I'm so excited. It makes me so happy to see the fall decorations. So there's that. And yeah, I'll flip you around, show this book real quick, and then I'm just gonna work on that. And that's probably all you'll see from me today. And then over the next few days, just kind of, we're still just getting ready for homeschool. And then maybe this will include some of the first day of school stuff too. I'm not really sure yet. We'll see how much content we get. But yeah, that's kind of the plan, you know, just hanging out, talking, showing you stuff. It's party over here. Okay, so first of all, these are the Christmas pictures I was able to find. So I already finished her other book, which is over there. Well, I haven't labeled anything, but it's over there. And then I started this one with Christmas, and I have this page and this page, and that's all. Like, that was it, because this is what she was doing for Christmas. So most of these weren't even taken on Christmas. I think these, well, this one was, maybe this was Christmas Eve, and that's it. And then these are the collage ones I'm kind of talking about. So these are all pictures with Daddy, basically. But it's 3 pages, you know, but there's just so many cute pictures. And so then I have, you know, all these pictures that are just of her. And I have to figure out how to fit them all on these pages, you know, because I still have things where we've been on trips and things like that that I have to fit in as well. So anyway, I just have a hard time with all the cute faces. I'm like, which ones do I pick? So that's what I was talking about when I was saying it's difficult to make these books because I just want to put in all the photos. All right, so it is the night before school starts. It's like Christmas Eve, basically, for my kids. They get so excited for school to start, and then like a few days in, they're like ready for it to be done. So that's where we are. And so we always, for probably since we've lived here the last 6 years, we've done French toast casserole for breakfast on the first day of school. And so it's like an overnight French toast casserole. So I'm gonna put that together now. I've just been baking for the last several hours. While baking and cooking, you know, we were getting dinner ready, but also just making sure we have protein muffins in the freezer and that I have some food for lunches and all the things. So it's just been a busy like afternoon trying to get everything ready to go. And then tomorrow, which is Tuesday, we're gonna start school, and I'll show you after, like I'll show you the French toast casserole situation, and then after that I'll set out all their schoolwork and stuff for tomorrow, and I'll show you, like go over that with you. And then hopefully we'll get some like snippets tomorrow as well for school, depending on how busy we are. I do have a doctor's appointment in the morning, which I do try to avoid, but it's for my podiatrist for my ankle, and so that's just when it had to be. So that's what we're doing, is I'll go to the doctor, so they'll probably work on their individual subjects while I do that. But that's kind of the plan. So I'm gonna get the French toast casserole made, like the casserole part of it, and then the, you know, sugary part that goes on top, that's what everybody loves to eat anyway. So I'll get all that made now and then get their schoolwork set out, and I think we'll be ready to go. Okay, so I'm gonna mix the custard in this bowl. I have the bread already over here. I toasted it. Like, you can use any bread. This is just the Walmart like $1 loaf of French bread, but you could use day-old bread you have, sourdough, whatever. And I just toasted it in the oven for like 15 minutes at 325 on a sheet pan. Put it in here. This is buttered. Put it in here. So now I'm gonna make the custard. So it's 2.5 cups of milk, 1.5 cups of heavy cream, and 8 eggs, a tablespoon of sugar, 2 teaspoons of vanilla. We're just eyeballing it with the rest of my vanilla here. It's all gone now. And 1/2 teaspoon each of nutmeg and cinnamon. Okay, so here's the casserole part. I, you know, pushed it, like poured the custard all over the bread, pushed it down a little bit, put saran wrap on it, and then I put the lid on it. I just like to have double the lid to make sure everything is good. And then it will just sit overnight. You know, it could sit all day if you wanted it for like a dinner or something like that. So like 8 to 12 hours. And then we'll cook it in the morning. Okay, so now I'm gonna make the topping. So it's 8 tablespoons or 1 stick of butter that goes in here. And then 1 cup and 1/3 of a cup, 1 1/3 cups, I guess, of brown sugar. 2 tablespoons of Karo syrup, so I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it. That looks good to me. And then 2 cups of chopped pecans. I like to just buy the ones that are already chopped because it makes my life easier. You could also do oatmeal if you have like a nut allergy or you just don't like nuts. You could do oatmeal and that works just as well. And I personally like to just get in here with my hands. I feel like it's just easier, so that's what I usually end up doing. And then I'm just gonna put the lid on this and leave it on the counter, and we'll use it in the morning so that, you know, it keeps the butter nice and soft if I leave it out. So we'll sprinkle it on top of the casserole. Okay, so here is all the schoolwork set out for tomorrow. This is my pile. And so we have our read alouds. We're doing Ernest Shackleton. We're talking about Pompeii. And then we have mindfulness stuff, journaling, which I will ask the question or write it on the board, and they'll just write it in these notebooks right here. And then we have some scripture stuff and geography. Since it's Tuesday, we're doing geography. And that's all. This is my homeschool notebook, just so I know kind of what I planned for reading and how much. So in the kids' piles, I'll just show you one of them. They're basically all the same. But they have this where they'll write their journal stuff in, their scriptures, and then in the past we've done the 3-year journaling notebook, and we might still do that because we still have space in those. But since we've been doing those for a while, I thought with these journals right here, and then also with these ones, you know, try something different. So there's a year of nature and a year of writing, and they're very just like quick, simple things in here. So we're gonna try that out and see how it goes. And then their scripture notebook from the Redheaded Hostess. They're just notebooks that have some more scripture stuff in here for them to memorize. And then the things that they need to be doing tomorrow. And so they can check that off the list as they do it. And then all of their geography stuff. So their workbooks, and then these books too, which I talked about these a little bit more in my morning cart, like morning basket video. So if you're interested to know a little bit more about those, that's where I talked about them a little bit more. So it's all set out and ready to go. And then for my toddler, I just set out a few different things real quick. So there's some stickers, paper, some crayons, Play-Doh with a few things he can play with in there. These are just from an old, I think these are from my daughter's first grade math manipulative thing. And so I just put a cookie sheet there so he could use the magnets. He likes to play with these Legos sometimes. I don't have anything really in this sensory bin yet that I've mentioned before. It's brand new. but he does like to just play with these toys, even though there's nothing else in here. So eventually we will get there, but we're not ready for that yet. So that's there for him if he wants to play with it, but this, you know, will probably last like 2 minutes really, but we'll try it out and see how it goes and then adjust accordingly. All right, so here's the breakfast. So here's the French toast casserole. It cooked for about an hour at 350, and then we have bacon to go with it and strawberries and whipped cream that can go on top of the French toast casserole, and some hungry kids that are sitting over there. Not all of them. Some of them are still sleeping, but it's about 7:15. So we're gonna dig into this and get our first day of school day started. Can you tell me?
Yeah.
Did you build something? I know you mixed all the Play-Doh, huh? He just went, ta-da! Look at this, Mom. All right, here is the aftermath of the first day of homeschool. This looks way better than it did not too long ago. I cleaned some of the stuff up already, but I'll probably eat lunch before I clean everything up and then clean off the board. And then over here, my toddler actually did really well. We'll see if it lasts, but he had a lot of things to keep him occupied. He mixed all the Play-Doh colors together. And so it's hard to tell because the sun's so bright right now. But he mixed them all together, so there's several different colors right there. And, you know, he drew on the table, but that's normal and it comes off pretty easily. So there's that. I still have a few kids working on stuff. Lydia's done, if she comes into focus. You're all done. Mazer's trying to do some stuff on the Cricut design space right now. He can't print a project because his little sister is sleeping in the room where all the stuff is. But he can at least design something and we can save it. So he's working on that. And then the other kids are out here, so we'll go show you them. And yeah, I'm gonna get lunch. That's kind of where we're at. It's 1 o'clock or just after 1 o'clock right now. So Alana is almost done with her Wordly Wise. This is the first year we've done this. And so they're just doing it. It's to expand their vocabulary. And then Manti is over here also working on his, trying to figure out definitions and stuff. So he's over there and the toddler is asleep. So I get to relax for a little while. All right, we made it through our first day of homeschool. It is 7 o'clock. I just got my toddler in bed. My baby's been in bed for about 20 minutes. And so I just thought I'd jump up on here and tell you how the day went. And this week is a little bit crazy. It's like a little bit, we always start school almost always this week, every single year. But sometimes it's crazier than others. And this week with appointments and different things just ended up being crazy. And my husband's gonna be out of town at the end of the week for a conference. So it just ended up being a very crazy week to start school, but we're doing it anyway and figuring it out. And so everything went well today overall, just an overall review. Everything was good. I feel like my kids really liked the first week of school. And then after that, it quickly goes downhill. Is anybody else like that? You know, it's just like the novelty of it. They just love it. Even my oldest son, he's like, compared to, what did he say? His birthday is his first like favorite day. And then the first day of homeschool is his second favorite day, and then Christmas. And I was like, wow. So So, which is just so funny because then you look at them in a week and they're all just like, why do we have to do school? It's so hard. There's so much work. Anyway, it's just funny. So this morning was a little different than normal just because I had my podiatrist appointment at 9 o'clock, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And then I came back. My husband had got a lot of the kids through a lot of their individual subjects and stuff, and so I ate breakfast, and we didn't start, like I didn't get done with breakfast till around 10:30 and stuff by the time I got home from my appointment around 10 and stuff like that. So, and we had our baby this morning with us. Normally she would be napping when we do group work, and so it was also trying to juggle her while we were doing group work. My toddler did so good. I had him on the table over here. You would have seen already in some of the B-roll footage. And again, we'll see how long that lasts. You know, if activities get old to him right now, it's just a new idea, so it's fun. But I still need to set out stuff for tomorrow. I've cleaned up all of his messes from today, but I'll have to set out sensory bin stuff for tomorrow and just activities. It's not all sensory bin stuff. But he did really well over like on the table right here by the window. And then we sat back here and did our group work, and it took about an hour. We didn't get through completely everything I wanted to just because we were already running a little behind schedule. And since it was starting the school year, there was some new things to discuss. My 8-year-old was like, is he 8? 9. I keep saying he's 8. My 9-year-old, he was like, man, we're doing so many new things this year just because we had a few new journal things. We've always, the last few years, we've done some type of journal, but this year was something different. So still journaling, but just with new journals, and then having them check things so that we make sure we're all on the same page, marking off that they've done their math or language arts. We're also doing some sort of accountability program as far as with their math and language arts to make sure they're putting in the effort. And maybe I'll explain that more after the first quarter, and I can let you know how it all goes. But basically, all their assignments are worth 100 points, and I just kind of figure that out depending on how many problems there are, and then find the percentage out of 100. They can redo, I want them to redo the problems regardless, but they can redo them for half credit if they've missed them, and then they need to show their work. I have some kids that really struggle with showing their work, that do stuff in their head, and they're really good at it until they're not. You know, they just miss things here and there because they can't visually see it. And so then they make mistakes, and you know, long term, they need to know how to show their work, pay attention to those things. So we just want to try to make them more accountable now. And then there'll be some sort of just simple prize at the end of the month if they've all stayed basically within a like 90% and above on all their math and language arts, which is totally doable for all of them. And like I said, they can redo stuff for half points. And so we'll see how it goes, you know, for the first month, and then we'll have the quarter review where I can tell you after a couple months how it's been going. But so we started that. So there's just a little bit more like housekeeping things, I think, to help me be able to stay better organized while trying to keep track of so many people. So we did all that. And yeah, some people ran into the afternoon a little bit. That's just what happens. But I felt like all in all, it was pretty good. My kids were like, it was a good day of school. And I felt like they felt accomplished, like they were doing a good job and all that kind of stuff. So yay for us. And all the schoolwork for tomorrow is already set out. I started last year when I set out schoolwork, when I cleaned it up at lunchtime or in the afternoon. I just set out all the stuff for the next day because a lot of the stuff we use over and over day after day. It's just like the science and geography and some of the read alouds that I might switch out from day to day. And then on Thursday, which is usually the last day we homeschool for the week, you know, and then Friday we do games or go outside and go hiking or something. And so Thursday, I'll just clean everything up and put it back on our morning cart, and it goes in the closet for the rest of the weekend and stuff. And that just has seemed to work. Like, yes, it's a little cluttered on the table. Like, I try to keep it in nice piles, but it's either that or I put everything away and pull everything back out a few hours later every single day. And so this has just worked a little bit better for us. So that's all set out. Like I said, I need to get out some sensory bin stuff for him for tomorrow. Tomorrow's another weird day. Wednesdays, my kids have piano in the morning, so they'll be doing group work first, not group work, individual work first. And then my son and husband are actually going to the temple after that at 11. And so my oldest son, so he might actually do his group work by himself and do science by himself, which sometimes he prefers to do that anyway. So we'll probably do group work while they're gone so that we can get it done and not miss a day and have to make it up somewhere. And that's kind of the plan. And then they'll just work on their individual subjects in between all the piano lessons in the morning. So it's another weird day, but I'll get some sensory bin stuff set out for him. But yeah, I think for homeschool, that's all. But I was gonna tell you about my ankle appointment, another update. This was 4 weeks from the last one. And it was with the hope that maybe I wouldn't have to go back in until May. But part of me was already knowing that I'd have to go back in a few times because I have plantar fasciitis in my other foot. It just started in January and I've never had problems before in the past, but again, maybe years of compensation for the other foot has now, just caught up with everything. So he's been doing shockwave treatment. It's like a 2-minute thing where this little tool pounds on your heel. And so I'll go in again next week. It is the most effective if you do treatments every week for 4 weeks instead of going every month. I just wasn't sure if I was gonna do it or if it was gonna be helpful. So because then the next option would be a cortisone shot, which I really don't want to do for a number of reasons. I don't like shots and the wrists, and I might have to be in a boot if I do that and all the things. Hopefully it would make it better, but I also don't want to have to go through that. I also don't want to have steroids shot into my foot, so there's a lot of things about that I just don't want to do. But it's also not getting better with me constantly wearing shoes, having good arch support, doing lots of stretches. So we'll see. So I have to go back for that anyways. But with my ankle, the dorsiflexion is still, it's getting better slightly, but it's still not super great. And he wonders if the anchor, I don't remember what they're called. It goes from one side of my ankle, well, it's right above my ankle. It's in the bone on one side and goes around to the other side into the bone and provides support. And some people long-term, which I already knew this was a possibility, hoping that it wouldn't be my possibility. Some people don't stand it long-term. Once it stabilizes well enough and you start moving, it can cause other problems. Some of it being mobility issues, which might be what's happening with my ankle right now, is that it might be causing that. From the x-ray, he thought that it looked like there was enough space for everything to still move, but again, it's an x-ray and it's hard to tell everything that's actually going on. So the option would be to keep, maybe for another month or two, keep stretching and seeing if it does improve and range of motion comes back and seems like it's in a good spot. If not, he can do the surgery in office, which is terrifying for me because I'm am I awake? I hate doctors. I've had to go to so many doctors in my life and I've not liked them since my appendix ruptured when I was 11. So, and not because of that, I already did not like them. It already terrified me to needles, all that kind of stuff has always just been something I have been terrified of and stuff. So the doctors do great things. I just don't like all the knives and needles and stuff. And yeah, here I am with all the things that happen and 6 kids, just all the things. So they would just do, he'd do 2 incisions basically right above my scars I already have, because the anchor sits a little bit higher. And then they just pull it out and stitch it up, and I'd still be able to walk and everything, but I'd have to be careful until the stitches come out, which is probably a couple weeks. It was a couple weeks when I had surgery, but I'm not sure exactly the whole protocol. So anyway, that would be, so the recovery is pretty fast. I still have to be careful for a while. And hopefully that would like make everything fine, you know, because it's just holding things in there so tight that sometimes it just, people don't handle it very well when everything is just like so snug. And it's done its job. He said usually if it's after just a few weeks, you know, after 6 weeks, he would have been like, no, let's wait. But since it's been 4 months, after like 5 months, it's not necessary, like really necessary anymore. It's done most of its job in stabilizing everything. So we'll see. We're still undecided if that's what we're gonna do. We're kind of waiting it out, and I'm gonna keep stretching because it is still making progress. It's just very small. And so we just don't want it, like if it's plateaued and my dorsiflexion is still not great, then we will have to try something else, you know, which might be taking this anchor out. So that's kind of where we are with that, all the things. So, you know, I wish I was only going back in May and that I had no other issues. That would be everybody's hope and dream, that it would just be done and I can just go in for a year post-op appointment. But here we are still having to worry about it. So we'll see what happens. But that is the update from today. And, you know, it was frustrating. I'm like, I just want it to be better. I just want to feel normal. And sometimes I feel mostly normal, but there's just little things, you know, and some things will get better with time still. You know, it was a huge, massive surgery. Ankles are really difficult next to shoulders. And so it's a very difficult recovery process. But it also is just like, I just want to feel sort of normal again. And he also said, you know, we already knew I had no cartilage, so I have pretty severe arthritis, like in my ankle joint. And since I was immobilized for so long, that could also be leading to some of the struggles because, you know, like the cartilage lubricates, like the movement, everything, all those things move. What am I trying to say? I can't talk right now. All those things with the movement and the cartilage help keep everything lubricated and, you know, like buttery and functioning super, super well. And so when you stop those things, and I had no cartilage to begin with, it can lead to it being even more difficult to get things moving again in the way that they're supposed to. So that could also be contributing. You know, there's just so many little factors. So we'll see how things go. I don't want to jump directly to invasive procedures. I'd rather keep trying to do through stretches and things like that and hope and pray that that everything gets worked out. So anyway, that's my like super long spiel. You're like, we did not need to know all that, but maybe somebody cared. I don't know. But yeah, maybe I'll take you along for a little bit of our second day of homeschool. I'm not really sure how long this vlog is already. It's mostly just like 2 days basically. And so I'm not really sure, but I'm gonna set out some things for my toddler to do tomorrow and then work on a few more things tonight before I go to bed. So anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. Okay, we survived our second day of homeschool. I actually felt like it went pretty well. Like the flow was a little bit better for today, and I feel like I got schoolwork graded a little bit faster. In some ways, like I graded some of it earlier, like we were able to go through things. So I feel like overall it was a pretty good day. So I have stuff set out for tomorrow and all that. And tomorrow for geography, we're playing a game. So I send out a game instead of like our normal geography curriculum. But I'm not going to show you all that. Maybe sometime in the future. This is already a long enough vlog. But I did want to show you that I finished the baby books. I only brought one down. They were upstairs already in the closet. The only thing I need to add is right here. I do a letter from me to them. Mostly it talks about their name and maybe a few feelings that I had during the pregnancy, before, all that kind of stuff, whatever I kind of feel like writing. And so I have written the letter, I send it to my husband so he can make sure all the grammar is good and stuff, because he's really good at that kind of stuff. So once he sends it back, I'll print it and put it on there. But you know how I started this, talking about I didn't know what to do with all the pictures. And the other book is actually more packed with pictures, but I was like, okay, we'll just put them all along the back. So I picked my favorites to put on the normal pages, and then the other ones that were still my favorites, but not as favorite, I put them on the back cover of this one, and then on the front and back covers of the other one, because the front cover of the other one doesn't have a letter on it, where this one will. So anyway, I am done with them, which makes me so excited. I feel so accomplished. I checked it off my list this last week and I was like, yes, it's done. So anyway, if you're wondering, you will not be seeing the baby book in any more of these vlogs, because it's been in a few, I think, like 2 maybe, I don't know. It's all done. But I think that's all. You know, it's been kind of all over the place with this vlog, mostly just us getting ready for school and just showing you our first few days of school. And yeah, that's about it. But if you enjoy these types of videos, please remember to give me a thumbs up and comment down below what you enjoy seeing the most in the vlogs. Like, do you enjoy more of the kitchen, like cooking, more homeschool type stuff, you know, or I don't know, outdoorsy stuff? I'm not really sure what you like to see, besides just like, this is our normal life. This is just what we're doing from day to day. It's not very crazy or exciting. It's pretty like routine and repetitive, but just let me know what you'd be interested to see, and I can try to include more of those things as I go forward and make more vlogs. So anyway, I will see you next time.